Today I want to talk with you about 4 different ways that you can get funding for your initial startup. Hi, my name is Jim Hart. I am a business, entrepreneurial, trademark lawyer. I work with businesses and startups to help them build and grow the business of their dreams and make sure they do so in a way that it is legally protected. So today I want to talk with you about different ways that you can get funding for your business. So let's just jump into it. The first method that you can get funding is basically to self-fund. And this is probably what I would say most entrepreneurs do. There's a stat that I found from the US Chamber of Commerce that says 75 to 80% of businesses are self-funded. I actually think the number is much higher than that. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably somewhere in the 80 to 90%, if not higher range, because there's all sorts of small businesses that are self-funding themselves that are not being reported by the US Chamber of Commerce, obviously, because they haven't registered with the Chamber of Commerce. So I'm guessing that this number, 75 to 80%, is 75 to 80% of the companies that are actually members of the Chamber of Commerce who have filled out some sort of survey that they gave out. So I'm guessing that number is much higher. Now, there are pros and cons to self-funding your business. The biggest pro being that you have total control. If you have money and you have assets to put into a business, you can control how you're going to grow that business. You can control the people that are going to work for you. You can control all those things. And in addition, when the business becomes successful, then you receive all the rewards of that. So you are going to keep all ownership equity in your business. And so that is the biggest pro to self-funding your business with your own money and without incurring debt or giving up any type of equity in your business. On the other hand, there are cons to that, and the biggest con being you may not have the funds to self-fund your business, and you might have to look for other means to do that. We're going to talk about that here in a second. But other cons to self-funding mean that you're basically on an island. So if you don't already have a network of people that you can go to, that you can rely on for assistance and help and guidance, mentorship, and all these things that are necessary when you're just starting your business, then not having those people in your life can be really difficult, and you're going to need to go out and proactively seek those relationships and find people, mentors, legal counsel, accountants, things like that, who can help you to build and grow your business. So now, when it comes to self-funding, there's actually 3 types of self-funding that you can use for your business. And so the first type of self-funding is going to be your job. So let's say you're working at a job and you've got a business idea and you want to build something. You can work on that business when you're not working at your job. So you can work at it at nights, on weekends, and other things like that. And this is the most common way that most people start a business, is they're working someplace, they're receiving a paycheck, and they're using money from their income to help fund their business and to work on their business on the side. The biggest issue with that I see from people is you just need to make sure you're not in any way infringing on your employer. So you might have an employment contract of some sort with your employer that basically, or a non-compete, something like that, that basically says that you can't do something that's going to harm their business. And so as long as you are staying in your lane and your employer is in their lane and they don't really overlap, then you shouldn't have too many problems with that. But if you do have a situation where you're trying to start a competing business, I would talk to a lawyer first before you go that route. The second way to self-fund your business is going to be through savings. And so I typically would recommend that you have at least 6 to 12 months of savings in the bank to pay for your normal ordinary living expenses, in addition to whatever additional money you're going to need to fund your business. And I'm going to do another video about exactly what it costs to start a business and how much money you're going to need in the bank to start that business. And then the third way, and this is another great way to do it, is if you have a spouse or a significant other or partner. Typically it's going to be a spouse. If this is somebody who can basically support you while you're building the business, and they're willing to support you while you're building the business because they believe in what you're doing and they think it's going to be successful, then that is a great way to do that. And I've seen a lot of businesses built and grown on the backs of an income from another spouse. And this is a great way to do it if you have that available to you. The nice thing is you don't have to continue working in a job, and you can devote 100% of your time to the business. And I've seen that as soon as people start devoting 100% of their time to their business, those businesses really start to take off. The second idea I have for you in terms of how to get funding. This is an interesting idea. It's not going to work for a lot of people, but I think for the right person, for the right entrepreneur, the right startup, this could be the ticket to really building and growing your business. And that is to avail yourself of an incubator where you live. Now, the most famous incubator out there is Y Combinator. Y Combinator has produced such companies as Stripe, DoorDash, Coinbase, Instacart. All of these have been through Y Combinator, so I think it's one of the more famous incubators out there. It's got a very low acceptance rate. I think it's somewhere around 1% of companies that apply to Y Combinator get accepted, and that's pretty common for most. Dogs are making a ton of noise here. Okay, thank you, Bo. Go sit down. Gotta lock the dogs up. Jesus. Okay, so I'm talking about Y Combinator, and a lot of you are probably wondering what is an incubator anyway? How would that help me as I'm starting up my business? An incubator basically is an organization. It's usually created by angel investors. Create an organization where they're trying to identify talent. They're trying to identify businesses and ideas that have a really strong potential to grow on a massive scale. What they give you is they're going to give you access to office space, mentorship, networking opportunities, maybe even business education classes that you can use. So it's an opportunity to really jump in, learn from other people, and really focus on your business for a very short period of time, usually around 3 months. And at the end of that 3 months, typically you'll make a pitch to the organizers of the cohort that you're in, and they will make a decision as to whether or not they want to invest in you. Typically what happens is the price there is no price. There might be a small fee to be a part of an incubator program. There's going to be more of a fee if they're not investing in companies at the end. But the price of being a part of this incubator is the fact that at the end of the program, if they believe in your business, they're going to invest in you and they're going to take equity in your company. And so that's what you need to be aware of. You're going to be signing a contract at the very beginning that basically says that if we feel like you have a really strong idea and we like what you're doing, at the end of the period, we're going to take equity. We're going to give you X amount of money. It's not like thousands of dollars. It's usually tens of thousands of dollars that they're going to give to your company to invest in your idea and continue to build and grow with it. But you need to put the work in up front to show them that you have what it takes to be a successful company. And they're looking for growth companies, like I said, DoorDash, Instacart, Stripe. These are all companies, Dropbox, these are all companies that grew very, very fast because they were part of the Y Combinator program. On the pro side, it's a great opportunity to learn, it's a great opportunity to connect with other people, and it's a great opportunity to get funding if that's something you're looking to do. On the con side, they're going to take funding, and if you don't want to give up equity in your business, this is not a great option. Also on the con side is the acceptance rate for these programs is very, very low, usually 1% to 2%. Of applicants that apply are going to get accepted because they're only looking for the best and the brightest and the best business ideas that they potentially want to invest in, because they're going to be putting a lot of money in you over the course of 3 to 4 months, however long the program lasts, and so they want to make sure they get an ROI. Now you may be wondering, well, I don't live close to San Francisco and where Y Combinator is. What about me who lives in, the middle of Ohio or someplace else? Well, I just Googled where I'm from in Raleigh, North Carolina, and there were a handful of incubators directly in Raleigh and around Raleigh. There are incubators connected to the universities in that area. So the chances are that there's going to be at least one, potentially more incubators where you live if you are in a large metropolitan area. If you're a couple hours away from a large metropolitan area, then it might be harder to find something, or potentially you could find a program that maybe is online where you're still going to get access to things. Maybe you go into the program, once or twice a week, and you work from home the rest of the time. So there are options for you, but just Google around and see what options are available in your general area. And you never know. There might be a really good incubator that's right for you and what you're doing with your business. The third idea I have for you, you need to be careful with. It is the right idea for some people. I personally, this was not something that was ever going to work for me for a variety of reasons. For some people, you can go out and find an investor. What does that mean? Basically what it means is you're looking for someone, could be friends, could be family, could be some stranger you met on the street, anyone who believes in your idea and says, you know what, I'm willing to give you $5,000, $10,000, or more to invest in your idea and what you're trying to do with your business. And so if you have somebody like that is willing to say, hey, write you a check and say, hey, go for it, here's some money I want, pay me back when you can, or I want a stake in your business, great. That is an option for you. It's not an option for everybody, but if that's something that sounds appealing and you are an extrovert who's willing to go out and talk with people and convince people that they need to invest in what you're doing, that is a great option for you. But even if this is an option for you, it's likely that you're gonna probably need some savings to at least see you through the first couple months, because it might take some time to find investors for your business. It might not happen right away. Also, chances are you're gonna need a really solid business plan so that you can really sell to people what you're doing, who your customers are gonna be, how you plan on generating revenue from your business, how you see your business growing, things like that. You need to have these questions answered. So if you think about the show Shark Tank, this is kind of what they do. These people come on Shark Tank and they're pitching to the sharks to convince them to invest in their business. Now that's at a much higher scale and they're taking equity in the business typically, but that's the same general idea. So you're going to people and you're asking them if they can invest in your business. It's just at a smaller scale. The cons to this are, again, you're likely gonna be giving away equity in your business, and you may need to cover some startup legal expenses to draft up documents that are basically codifying the sale of your business to these investors, or codifying a percentage of the equity in your business to these investors. So you really have to decide, kind of what do you think your business is worth? So is your business worth $100,000, $200,000? Or I should say, what is your business idea worth? And that's kind of up in the air. Who knows what that is? So if somebody's willing to give you $10,000 and you think your business is worth $100,000, then they're getting a 10% equity stake in your business. Or alternatively, these people could be giving you a loan and they could just ask you to pay them back with either some interest or no interest. Sometimes parents are willing to help people out for that. And so there are various options for that, and that's something you may want to look into. Before I get to the last one, I just remembered a bonus option. And so this is to sell your products before you have a product. I probably should have mentioned this before, because this is probably one of the stronger ways to actually develop a business. And this is great for people who are developing software solutions. And so the idea here being that you create kind of a beta model of what it is you're going to be doing for your business, and you go out to people, potential customers who might be willing to invest in your business and might be willing to invest in what it is that you're selling, I should say. Ask them, would you be willing to pay me this amount of money up front? I will give you lifetime access to the product, or I'll give you a super deep discount off the monthly rate for the product if you invest in the business now. And all you need to know is the actual version of the product is not going to be available for 3, 6, 12 months. And during that time period, you'll give me feedback on what we're working on and different things like that. So that could be a really good option for people that are in the right business space. And like I said, typically this is going to be people who are delivering some sort of technology or software solution. That can be a great option. The last option is my least favorable option, and that is debt. So basically this is, you using a credit card or a small business loan or some other type of debt instrument to fund your business. I don't like this option. I think there's too much risk associated with it. I especially wouldn't like mortgage your house on a business, unless you really have a very strong idea that your business is going somewhere. But for most people, don't you dare. All right, listen to what I said. Do not mortgage your house. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that. I think that that is a stupid idea. Don't do it, don't do it. So credit cards are bad enough. Only time that I would say this could be a potentially good idea for your business would be if you've already validated the business idea. So you've gone to the marketplace and you've told them what you're selling and you've got a viable product and people are willing to invest in you and you know that you've got a good sales funnel that is driving sales to your business, then at that point, what you could do is you could spend a small amount of money on some Facebook ads, and if you're getting at least a 2-to-1, a 3-to-1 return on your investment from those Facebook ads, then it's possible that you could have a real winner there and you might want to use some. Now, I would recommend bootstrapping, like if you went out and spent $500 on Facebook ads and you got $1,000 back, I would take that $1,000, put it back into Facebook ads and see if you can make $2,000 off that. And if you can do that, continue to scale that until you don't feel comfortable scaling anymore. That would be the best option. Alternatively, if you've already proven, several times over that, if you put $1,000 into Facebook ads and within 30 days you're getting $2,000 or $3,000 back, then it's possible you might want to use a credit card to fund that. But I would be very careful there because you can lose your shirt on Facebook ads or any type of ads really very, very fast. Ads are there for a reason, but if you're not making money off the ads, then you need to cut them off and you need to be following them very, very closely. In the next video, I'm going to be talking about what it actually costs to build and grow a business. So make sure you check that one out. It's going to be right here when it gets published. Thank you so much for watching today, folks. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.